Hello, my name is Tammy French. Today I'm going to be talking about The Art of Public Speaking, the textbook by Stephen Lucas, and specifically about Chapter 9, which is Organizing the Speech. If you'd like to watch this entire presentation with closed captioning, please visit the Communicate submenu on the UWW-TV website at uwwtv.org. Well, anyone that knows me will tell you that I have said for years the most important part of giving a good speech is to be organized. That is the most important thing. You know what? Because all of us have been in a class, or we've heard a presentation at work, or maybe we just heard a speaker in some other setting, and maybe the speaker has a couple really good ideas, and maybe the speaker has a really dynamic delivery. But the content of what they're saying is coming out in this big hodgepodge mess, and it's really hard to get anything out of it. Our speeches can be so much more effective if we just add a couple simple organizational steps. Because you know what? The audience wants that. The audience wants to hear our ideas. They want to hear what we've got to say. So we can really help them out by being organized. So let's start by talking about what are we going to do with our main points. Now, the main points, of course, are within the body of our speech. We know that. They're the major ideas we're developing within our speech. They're the primary things we're going to be talking about. And we know that in our speeches for our class, we're going to ask you to have 3 main points. Now, folks, there's nothing magical about the number 3. And someday down the road, if you give a presentation that's 2 hours long, you're going to need to have more than 3 main points. But for our class, for the time limits within our speeches, 3 just seems to be a really nice, a nice number to work with. If you really are dying to have 4 main points, talk to your teacher, and I'm sure he or she will let you do that. But in any case, the main points are the way we're going to, the things that we're going to hang our hat on this speech. But the question comes up, so what do I do with those main points? I've got some idea of what I want to say, but what order should I put them in? So we're going to talk today about 2 primary ways of organizing our main speech. The first pattern is called a chronological pattern. And this is where your main points follow sort of in a timeline. This is when there's obviously kind of a beginning and a middle and an end, and it makes sense that your speech follows that pattern. Now, chronological pattern can also be something with steps in a process. So if you're explaining how to do something, for example, and it makes sense that you do this step first, and then this step, and lastly this step, well, that would be considered a chronological pattern too. So let me give you an example here. If I have a speech about the Great Wall of China, I might talk about the building of the Great Wall that began in 221 to 206 BC. New sections of the Great Wall were added in 206 BC to 220 AD, and the Great Wall was completed in 1368 to 1644, and that, of course, is AD. So this obviously follows a chronological pattern. I'm starting very, very early, and then I'm going a little bit later and a little bit later after that. There's plenty of speeches that we give that follow this pattern, and as audience members, this is kind of familiar to us. So when we see or hear this pattern being enunciated within a speech, it makes sense and we like it. Now, another choice that you have for giving your speech is a topical order. This is when your speech, the main points are divided into logical subtopics, but there's not necessarily a predetermined order. In other words, the order of your main points can be determined by you, the speaker, and it would make sense in either way. Okay, so let's look at an example of that. As an entertainer, Josephine Baker captivated audiences in Europe and America. As a spy, Baker gathered information on Nazi activities in France during World War II. And as a civil rights activist, Baker worked for racial equality on a variety of fronts. So in this case, we're taking this woman's life and we're talking about the 3 primary contributions that she made. She was an entertainer, she was a spy, and she was a civil rights activist. I could rearrange those main points in whatever order I wanted, and it would still make sense to my audience. That's the main way of determining if you're using a topical order or not, is if you could rearrange those main points. Now, as we think about our main points, there's some things we want to keep in mind. First of all, we want to make sure we keep our main points separate. We want them to be separate and distinct. As I was alluding to in my introduction, the last thing we want is for our speech to seem like it's just a pile of information. We want them to be very separate and distinct pieces of information. And we're going to talk about transitions in a little while that will help us with that. We want to use the same pattern of wording within our speech, within our main points, so that it's very clear to our audience when we're done with one main point and we're moving on to another. That parallelism is really going to help us. So I want to direct you back to the previous slide for just a moment, where we were looking at Josephine Baker. Notice the wording of those main points. As an entertainer, yada, yada, yada. As a spy, yada, yada, yada. As a civil rights activist, that parallel format is really going to be helpful to the audience. They're going to hear that and understand, okay, we're done with one, we're moving on to the next one. And lastly, as far as tips for your main points, try to balance the time devoted to those main points. Now, it doesn't have to be specific and perfect. If it's 1 minute and 12 seconds for the first main point, it doesn't have to be exactly that for the second. But they should be in proportion to each other. If you have one main point that's really gigantic compared to the others, or if you have one main point that's really, really, really tiny compared to the others, the speech is just going to feel kind of off kilter a little bit. And so you want to either trim down the fat one or beef up the skinny one to try to get those main points kind of in order. It'll just feel a lot more systematic and in balance. Now, we've talked in a previous lecture about supporting materials. You know that your supporting materials are going to go into those main points. You're going to have your idea, but then you're going to support it. So again, thinking about the Josephine Baker example, I'm curious about her time as a spy, and I can't wait to hear some of the supporting materials and explanations and examples that come when the speaker explains exactly what that entailed and exactly what that was all about. Our supporting materials are going to be also built in to those main points so that I've got some substance and I've got some interesting things to say. Now, I mentioned transitions before. Transitions are really, really important within our speech. We know they're important when we write papers, and they're especially important in a speech when the only thing my audience has is their ears to be able to tell when I'm ready to move on. So transitions, of course, take us from one spot to another spot smoothly. And transitions can really make a difference between a speech that feels like it's a little bit kind of choppy and herky-jerky into a speech that feels very, very smooth. So think about the ways that you're putting together your transitions. An example, now that we've considered Josephine Baker the entertainer, let's move on and look at her life as a spy. And so you can see those words that are underlined in the slide there that really highlight that we're done with one area and we're moving on to another area. Along the lines of transitions, and something that works hand in hand with transitions, are something called signposts. Signposts are specific words that signal a transition is coming. And one of the most common signposts we hear are to number. First of all, I want to tell you about Josephine Baker as an entertainer. Second of all, I want to tell you about Josephine Baker as a spy. Now, this is sort of an alternate transition to the ones I showed you in that other slide, but the truth is sometimes signposts can be a very easy way to signal to my audience and make it very clear that one main point is done and one main point is over. Now, the thing I really want to impress upon you is with these different formats of how to organize your main points, chronological or topical, you have choices. Sometimes when we've picked our topic, the first thing we think of when we're thinking about how to break up that topic and what our main points are going to be, we by default almost think of one way of doing it, and we don't consider that there are other options. And it's important that you think of that. It's important that you consider what choices you have. So let me give you an example. Let's pretend that I want to do my informative speech on English Premier League soccer, all right? I've come a family of soccer fans in my household, so they're talking about soccer quite often around me. If that is my informative speech topic, I have a few choices in how I go forward with that. Perhaps I want to choose a topical format, and I'm just going to pick three different teams that are within that league. So I'm going to pick maybe Arsenal and Man City and Chelsea. And there are 3 teams within the English Premier League that have had success over the years. And those are the 3 teams. That would be a topical format, and that would be fine. But on the other hand, maybe instead of that, I want to do my speech on the history of the English Premier League. And I talk about the league when it first started. And then I talk about some of the middle years of the league, some of the controversies that happened. And then I talk about the current state of the league and where it is today. Now, this would be a chronological organizational format, and that would be fine too. My point is, I really want you to be thoughtful about how you prepare your speech. What do you want to highlight? If I highlight the one with all the teams, well, I'm probably going to be talking about some individual players. I'll probably talk about win-loss records and some of that stuff. If I talk about the history of the league, I might not be highlighting individual teams as much. And so I have to decide, what do I want to emphasize in my speech? Where do I want the thrust of my talk to go? What direction do I want to take? Either one is fine, but you get to choose. That's why public speaking is so much fun, is because you have so many choices to make. What do you want to highlight to your audience? So today we've done some groundwork on exactly how we're going to put together the body of the speech. What am I going to do with my main points? Your textbook goes over a couple other types of organizational patterns that you can explore if you like. These are just a couple of the most common. As always, if you're having any trouble with this or you're wondering how to put this all together, please talk to your different teachers. They will be glad to help you. If you'd like to watch this entire presentation with closed captioning, please visit the Communicate submenu on the UWW TV website at uwwtv.org. Thank you. Take care.